We back in the house. We back in here, Pelican Bay Dog TV and news, giving it to my brothers and sisters today, the way I always do. You know y'all want it fair and unbiased, raw and uncut, so I gotta give it to you that way. Big shout out to all the pet lovers across the world. Like I always say, everybody that support the channel, big thanks, big salute to you. Subscribe to the membership part of the channel. Become a member of the channel. That way you be in the loop with the videos that I'm dropping on that side as well. I'll drop several videos throughout the week on that side. And just stay in tune with the channel, man. Like I said, if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button before you get up out of here. Stay down in them comments and salute to the brothers and sisters down in the comments. You know, got some news today from my side of the town. You know, got some news today from my side of town. And you know, I just got to give it to you. Just got to give it to you, my brother. So what we're going to do, you know, I'm going to take you into this news real quick. Then we're going to talk about it. You know, then we're going to talk about it, man. Let's get into it. PB K9s, dog talking news, TV, breaking news, CNN satellites from outer space. Let's go.
Sheriff's office is investigating the shooting deaths of 7 dogs this week. Officials say they were called out to a property on Gapway Road Monday night for reports of animal cruelty. When they got there, deputies report finding 7 dead pit bulls, each with a single gunshot wound to the top of their heads. All 7 were chained and secured in the property's yard. Deputies say they've canvassed the entire area and a veterinarian autopsy is scheduled for tomorrow. If you have any information about this, you're urged to call the sheriff's office at the number that's on the bottom of your screen, 843-546-5102.
Let's talk about it. We got 7 dogs shot in the head. Each dog with a single gunshot apiece. You know, still on the chains. You know, I don't know what happened. Just here to give brothers and sisters that news. Just looking at the situation, if I had to make a guess what happened, you know, it looks either like, because we got 7 dogs laid out. Now, if a brother had a curry, it'd be 1 dog, you know, and then the dog probably wouldn't be there. For 7 dogs to still be on the chain, all of them laid out, it looks like to me, somebody probably went to his house that he had a problem with and laid all his dogs down. You know, I can't say that because, you know, we can only go by what the news is talking about. You know, but for 7 dogs to be put down and none of them took it off the chains, you see, if a dog owner go put his dogs down, you know, he'll do something with them. You know, he either gonna bury them or he gonna take them off and put them in the dump somewhere. He gonna do something with them. It's not normal for a man to just come out, put all 7 dogs down, unless you did something to the family or something. You know, and then you gonna still take the dogs and bury them and get them off your property. For 7 dogs to be just sitting there on the property, you know, just waiting for somebody to come walk up on it, that's not normal, you know, at all. So that's why I say it had to be, or, you know, just my opinion, it seems to be like a situation where you had a problem with somebody and they went and took out all your dogs. The same thing with Crossroad, when I told y'all the situation that happened to him back in the days when, you know, he got busted. You know, he gave up, his yard man gave him up for his weed grow situation he had going on, right? So it's like it's the same thing, man. None of the stuff jumped off with Crossroad. You know, it was just the yard man owed him some money. The yard man didn't give him the money, so he went out there and put down all the yard man dogs that he had on the yard. See, that's what made Crossroad go down. It wasn't the fact that, oh, he got busted. It's how he got busted. The weed ain't nothing, because he still had his dogs after the bud. But when he went and put them 7 dogs down, no, I don't know how many dogs Crossroad put down. But he put the yard man dogs down, and when he did that, the yard man went and did what he did. But anyway, only time I ever seen that happen was when somebody was mad at somebody. You know, they'll go put their dogs down. Oh, you got a beef with somebody, and they trying to prove something to you, so they're gonna go do something to your dogs. You know, I seen one time where a brother took a mailbox and went and beat the brother dogs down. You know, the mailbox pole. You know, and just different situations. And most of the time when I see a situation like that, it's because of some type of drama amongst, you know, two people. But we never can say until we get the news article. Hope everything's well with all the parties involved with it, because they didn't say anything about nobody was hurt or anything, but they did say they questioned somebody and they have a person of interest that they're looking for. So, you know, just hope everything turned out all right in that situation, because I say it's not really the type of situation you see with animal cruelty. Even with animal cruelty, you may see 7 dead dogs on the yard, malnutrition dogs that done decayed and all. You may see 7 of them on the yard, but you don't usually find 7 dogs put down a single shot to each one head. You know, so you know, like I said, there may be an update on this particular news article sometime soon. Like I said, they say they were looking for or at least a person of interest. Most time when they say that, it's the person they're looking for. You know, but I don't know, man. You know, somebody either was pissed off and came outside and just got it over with, or somebody came there to prove a point. You know, I don't know, man. But let's talk a little bit about mouth, man. And mouth and gameness and finishing and stuff like that with these dogs, right? First, we'll start with the mouth. And the thing about mouth, I really hear, you know, old schoolers talk about it, but you rarely hear people speak about it when the conversation about mouth is coming up. No. Mouth can be adjusted. You know, a lot of people, you may think your dog don't have mouth. Maybe you took too much weight off of them. See, mouth can be adjusted with the weight of the dog. Even if your dog has a alligator mouth and you take too much weight off of him, he's not going to bite the same way. So that's why I say mouth can be adjusted. It just depends on what you're trying to do. Sometimes you may feel like you need that extra pound off. You know what I'm saying? It depending on what type of event you about to compete in. You know, you may need that extra pound off, but for the most part, you know, say we just gonna use a 5 pound radius, or 5 pound. So at the bottom of this 5 pounds is your dog's weakest point of biting. At the top of this 5 pounds is his highest point of biting. So if you land in between anywhere throughout your keeps or anywhere throughout your programs, when you land in between, it's just gonna determine how much jaw power your dog got. And we get that confused sometimes. You know, with maybe we don't get it confused, but a lot of people don't pay it no attention. Oh, he's an alligator, he's an alligator, he's an alligator. He got great weight on him. You know, another brother get that same dog, take a whole lot more weight off him. The dog look good now. Don't get me wrong, he look good, but he got a tad bit too much weight off of him. The dog can handle his weight. He's a good game dog. You know, he's naturally winded. But when you take a certain amount of pounds off, you know, you're taking away that mouth on a lot of dogs. And here goes another thing, you know. When it comes to mouth, in order for you to see these things, like I said before, mouth can be adjusted. We know this. Now, mouth have to be placed in the right place in order for you to consider it, in order for you to say, oh, this mouth. Say you back then you went up on a head dog, right? A smart head dog. Now you got a dog with a tremendous mouth, you know, but he's a shoulder dog, shoulder and leg dog. tremendous mouth. But he went on a head dog and he couldn't show any of his mouth. All the mouth that, you know, you was bragging about he had, he still got it. But he couldn't show it because he wasn't smart enough to outsmart the other dog who knew how to stay away from it. Mouth, the concept of having mouth is a lot of things to determine that whole situation. It's not just the pressure of a dog biting. I told you, like I said before, you can get that from a snap curve, and snap biting. A lot of things play a part. So your dog with this tremendous mouth, he on this super smart dog, and he can't get the moves that he need to get in. What purpose is all that bite that he got? Now you get one that's, you know, the same scenario. He on a good face dog, but he knows how to outsmart that face dog to get the places that he needs to get. You know, then he can execute that mouth. Quick example, another quick example. Sambo, super smart dog. You know, I feel like he had over average mouth. But the thing was, when I tested it on a particular dog, he wasn't smart enough to stay out of that situation. Could never see what kind of mouth he had. And that's for any dog, you know what I'm saying? We worried too much about the wrong things in the sport. You know, we was worried about gamers. So it's like this right here, right? If we going hog hunting and we trying to make sure our dogs stay in the fight, you need a game dog. Taking these dogs to these hogs and these hogs chasing them and doing all, you need a game dog. Your dog can bite hard as he need to bite, but once he bite them and the hog's still coming, what does that matter? He gonna have to be game enough to outsmart the hog, game enough to outlast the hog. You know? So that's why I say, man, that mouth talk is, a lot of times is, I'm gonna say it like this. It's good to talk about mouth when the dog is actually present with the mouth, or, you know, that actually had the mouth. But when you start talking about breeding dogs to have these same traits that the other dog had when it comes to how hard he can clamp down, that's a whole different ball game. You have offspring that have different shaped teeth. You know, even though they directly off these dogs, their teeth might not be as sharp as the other dog teeth is. Their teeth might not be as long as the other dog teeth is. It's a lot of things that play in the factor of what brothers see. Because I told y'all before, an inexperienced eye back in them days would look at a dog. Oh, he come in, he start bleeding. If a dog teeth is sharp, he don't have to have nothing but a wet paper bag mouth. If his teeth is sharp, he come in, he can, you know, it's gonna be blood instantly. So people will get that confused and say, oh, he got a hard mouth. He got a hard mouth, when all he did was deal with any other pit bull would do and bite down and cause blood. He got razor sharp teeth. So how about the brothers that sharpen the dog's teeth? Come in, cut stuff up. But it's not from their jaw pressure, it's from the razor sharp teeth they got. See, mouth can be manipulated to look like you got mouth and don't have it. But you can't look like you game and don't have it. You gotta be game. You can't play with gameness. You can play with that mouth. You know, he not gripping as hard as you need him to grip. At this weight, add a pound to him. You know, add a pound to him. Now look at him. Yeah, he doing exactly what you need him to do now. And he got more mouth. You out here bragging about what kind of mouth he got now because you done added a pound to him. You know, no different than a boxer. You take a couple pounds off a boxer, he may not hit as hard as he gonna hit when you add 5 or 10 more pounds to him. But the hitting power change, but the gameness don't. You gotta breed for gameness. You can breed for whatever you want to breed for, you know, because everybody got their own thing, whatever they breed for. But the dog, genetically, the dog was bred for his gameness, you know. And we talking about with any animal. It don't matter what kind of animal it is. We're not even trying to just say no dogs. We talking about legal stuff where we go out here and hunt and chase things and different type of stuff like that. You know, these dogs are meant to be game. You know, what you want your dog chasing after something in the woods and all of a sudden he ahead of you maybe a quarter mile. You know, probably not that far, just a football field or so. He ahead of you, but then you want him to come running back. While your hound dog still chasing the prey, your pit bull done came back because he tired. Or you done ran up on your pit bull, he done stopped over there laying down in the woods, gave up because he tired. He not his game. But he'll bite him if he can get hold to him, but he ain't gonna chase him. You know, so, and then another thing, I wouldn't mind having a brother who, you know, get up here and tell me about the times that they made breedings, because I'm not gonna say it's impossible or nothing like that. You know, we want to hear stories from all dog brothers across this country and world, because things I may not have experience, you may not have experience, or the next man, you know. But I want to talk to brothers and see about when they made these breedings for mouths. Did the offspring have the mouths the sire had or the dam had? You know, I mean, to me, I feel like smartness and gameness is the most important things. Now we're about to get to another topic real quick at the same time. Smartness and gameness to me is the most important. You know, because a smart game dog, you know, is a pretty tough dog. He know how to stay out the way. He know how to get where he need to get when he needs to get there. But it's something that's a little more better than a smart game dog. You know, a tad bit better. And that's what you call a finisher. You see, like I heard and hear many dog men speak of, and we spoke about this on many videos before, you know, there's a thin line, a very thin line, like they say, between love and hate. You know, there's a very thin line between fed and state. There's a very thin line between gameness and being a finisher. You know, is he game or is he just a finisher? You see, you rather compete back in them days, you would rather compete against a game dog than a finisher. A finisher is exactly what it means. You know, unless this guy got this dog on a bad key to where he can't perform the way he need to perform, you know what I'm saying? Other than that, you don't want no problems with a finisher unless you got a finisher. If you had one of them dogs back in the days that he would just scratch, you know, and then he, you know, just scratch, but he not going for the finish, but you was going against a finisher, you had problems. Because see, this is the thing, man. Once a dog established the ability to be able to finish one, no matter what it is, this is what you got to understand. He's done established smartness to stay out of the whatever he's going after way in order for him to finish him. He's established his smartness. See, a finisher is not a dumb dog. You know, they may not be the roughest, they may not be the toughest, but they are the hardest to compete against. And that's a fact. Just stuff off that thin line that separates finishing and gameness. You know, he's smart enough to last. He knows what his goal is. See, a finisher got a goal. Just your average game dog don't got a goal. He coming. He coming. His goal is to shake and do damage. But he's competing against a dog with a goal to finish, to end it all for him. It's like you're going against a wolf. You know, and the thing about it, a finisher is more deadlier than a wolf. Because the thing about it, a wolf, you know, we all know, we're not talking about actually deadly as far as you going one-on-one with a wolf, but we talking about their mentality. A wolf gonna leave because they know they're in the woods, they can't get no help. They gotta hunt and find their food and all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But a wolf can finish, but you rarely see one go the whole distance. One wolf go the whole distance to the death. He'll peel out before it gets to that far. But if he got a chance to get on the top of you, to get his way, then he will finish you off. You know, but other than that, he'll cur out and go running off in the woods, and you'll think he'll cur, but he's not a cur, he's just surviving. See, with that pit bull, you know, his way of surviving is being smart in that square he was in, learning how to stay out of trouble, learning how to stay out of danger from this guy who said he got a hard mouth dog. You see? And the thing about it, hard mouth is good. Hard mouth is good because it don't take but one time for a hard mouth to touch certain areas to make a real, to damage some stuff. Like say for instance, a hard mouth dog get the very bottom of another animal's toe, the very bottom of his foot. Especially if it's a hard shaking dog. You know, that's the kind of damage that is irreparable when it comes to competitions. You do not want your dog to hurt the bottom of his ankles. You know, it's certain areas he can take licks on. You rather have him up in them thighs somewhere for a short period of time than on them ankles. Because once you start getting to where you can't put that foot down, it's what they call a partially flat tire. And once it get to where you can't put it down, it's completely flat. You know, you don't got but two tires to flatten in the front before you on your chest. And that's pretty much a wrap then. You can get the title of being a dead game dog, but you won't get the win with two flat tires unless you done got the other dog completely, you know, out of it. You know, so like I said, back then it's a thin line between finishing and gameness. You know, and when it comes to all three, finishing, gameness, mouth, you want a game finisher, you want a finisher. You know, back then. And even if you're competing in your shows and stuff, man, a finisher is gonna give you that same intensity he gives you at 8 o'clock when y'all came to this confirmation show, at 10 o'clock when y'all came to the show, 12 o'clock. He's gonna give you that same intensity because he's coming to the ring for one thing, to finish. You know, when you put on the treadmill, he's coming to win, he's coming to finish. But mouth is over-exaggerated like this new modern-day dog game. You know what I'm saying? Over-exaggerated. And nobody, like I always say, when somebody bragging about mouth and then they finally show it to another person who seen mouth, they be like, oh, that's what you call mouth? You know what I'm saying? So everybody mouth is different. You know, teeth damage. We have dogs that go in a mouth dog that may go in another dog mouth, you know, and do a lot of teeth damage, get damage. That's not mouth. You know, automatically once ivory cross with ivory, you know, you get damage. Mouth, in my opinion, mouth is, you know, instant damage when it touches places. You know, if you taking this dog out with your hog dogs, and they all chasing the hogs, they got the hog corner. As soon as this dog touched the hog, he's breaking skin. You know, pressure biting, swelling up. That's what mouth is. Mouth, like, brothers will see a lot of blood sometimes. Like I said, they get it confused with mouth. I just never been a mouth fan. You know, I love mouth. I desire great mouth in my animals, you know, but that's not what I'm breeding for. You know, I'm breeding for the dog, no matter how tired he get, then he still wants to be active. You know, we're not talking about in no sun out there if I'm training my dog and they get tired. That's common sense. But we talking about the will to work, the will to want to work. You know, that's what I'm breeding for. You know, to have dogs that are great family companions. You know, that's what I'm breeding for. When it comes to them dogs back in the day, sometimes you have things that happen with a particular dog. When it comes to mouth, he'll show tremendous mouth, and you'll never see that type of event again in his offspring. You know, even when it came to split ears with Bo, right? He showed so much mouth with Bo, but all the offspring that we got from him, none of the offspring did what he did to Bo that day. You know, so it's like you're really chasing a dream that's you may not ever see again when you chasing mouth, because you had one that he showed you this, he showed you that, mouth wise. What did he show you game wise? Mouth only wins contests back then. Only won contests back in the days when it was smartness involved, like I said earlier, when it was other things outside of the mouth. Mouth alone is not going to win them shows back then. Cause, and you know, just plain out simple, if your dog was biting that hard and he just went against a dog with no mouth at all, and he felt your dog mouth, and that dog was smart enough to stay out of that, like they always say, all we got to do is weather the storm. It was like a shark them first 5, 10, 15 minutes, you know. And even though in an hour, an hour and a half, he's still making his moves, he's still doing what he got to do. But after that first 15, 20 minutes, that pressure goes down tremendously. Oh, we got him now. Now, when we get these dogs with this tremendous mouth, then, you know, what happens when he only got one style? That style don't work. You see, that's the difference between a truly game dog and a lot of average dogs. You see, he only got one style. He going up on a smart dog that's gonna stop them from using that one style. Now, instead of him keeping pushing with that one style, even though it ain't working, he get frustrated and he quit because he don't know nothing else to do. Only thing he know is grab a leg or grab a shoulder. He never know. He can't grab the back end. He don't know how to work from the face. You know, he don't know how to peel himself away from the other dog's mouth back then. So he quit and give up. He not tired. He actually not even hurt. But mentally, he came to a roadblock. Good mouth, one style. Good mouth, not smart at all. As soon as the dog stop that style, get him where he can't. Just say he a rear end dog. One style, rear end, and pretty good mouth. The dog he went on kept him from getting in the rear end, kept him up front. He didn't know how to react to that. You know, and most of the time, you know, just my opinion, I haven't really seen the back end I haven't really seen the back end dogs come to the roadblock like the front end dogs. Most of the time, if a dog is smart enough to keep one out his back end, that back end dog will work that front just as good. But when a dog in the front end gets stopped and he's not a rear end dog and he gets stopped, he won't shift to that back end and focus on the back end. I'm talking about really focus on the back end, unless he's a smart dog and he know that's his way to get out of trouble. That's why I say before, a smart game dog was always more valuable than something with mouth. You can get a dog that bite hard back in the days from out the dog pound. But how game was he? You know, that's what made the difference between a lot of them Eli dogs back in the days. And I'm not saying this to crack on nobody. The Eli dogs was good. But when them yellow dogs came, they showed to be more gamer, more naturally long-winded. You didn't have to put these dogs on the treadmill, and they're going to still go long. You know what I'm saying? So it was the gameness in these dogs. We call it natural win, but it's gameness. All natural win is gameness. You know, no matter how much natural win a dog's supposed to have, if you got him fat, he can't use his natural win. So it's really no such thing as natural win. That's just another term for gameness. You know, and his drive. You know, how high is his drive? His working drive. You know, we can say, like I said, we've been saying it, I've been saying it. Natural winded dogs. And I said it earlier in this. The yellow dogs are naturally winded dogs. They just game dogs. You know, and all dogs aren't that game. You know, some dogs, they'll try 3 or 4 different styles. He may go to the front, which is his first. That don't work. Then he shot to the rear. The dog was smart enough to keep him out the rear end. You know, then he start working on the head. You know, you have these kind of dogs also in the system back then. You know, smart dogs. A smart dog will go to any position he needs to get to. Now, when it comes to being smart, that's why I say before, the Bolio dogs was known for being smart. But what are the smart dogs today in 2025? How can a lion be credited for being a smart lion? Like the Bolio dogs. Can we go by obedience? Now, of course we can go by the old school ways to see certain things, you know, but we just talking about common sense and reality. I can take 10 dogs and I can work all 10 of them pit bulls same age. And we can see which one catching on the fastest. You know, he learned how to stay down 3 times faster than these other ones. In the square, he'd have caught on to what this other dog was doing a whole lot faster than the other ones. See, intelligence is intelligence. It don't matter where it's at. If a dog is smart, he's smart. He can't be, Bolio them could not have been smart dogs if they weren't smart all the way around. Maybe they was only used in the boxes and certain things, you know, and that's why I'm saying this like this. Are they actually smart dogs? Or they were just smart in the squares? A true smart dog is smart in any playing field you put them in. If a dog is smart. I mean, and I'm going to use the Belgian Malinois for another example. They smart dogs. You don't think they know how to adapt to any situation, from any situation. Even if they had to fight a particular animal, they will adapt to that situation and do what they got to do. Like when we was talking about what the dope boys may have ruined the dog game, and I think my opinion is the gambler is one of the key factors, whether it's a dope boy or not. The gambler, the big money gambler, that's not a really dog man. You know, these are the brothers that started doing the rub. That's when you get your heavy poisoning on these dogs and stuff like that. You see, these brothers back in Kobe them days, and Mr. Hansel and Lightner and Mr. Charlie Lloyd and all of them, back in them brothers' days, it was about having the bulldogs. The dogs, my brothers and sisters. When the gambler came into play, they put these big bets on it, these big purses, so they can't lose. You got the house on it. You got everything on it. You can't lose. They're rubbing these dogs. It's not a sport no more. It's a gamble. It's no different than rigging up trick dice. You know? It's a gamble, man. And like I said, that's part of what ruined the dog game. You know, you can't even trust that if your dog did good for the last 5 or 6 shows, and then all of a sudden he just gets shut down, you can't even say, oh man, my dog just got his ass whipped. You know what I'm saying? Today's time, you're going to automatically say something went right. You know what I'm saying? Something was on that dog. And that's just because of how it happened from the 90s on up. You know, that started in the 90s when I was hearing about frog piss and all other kind of stuff brothers will put on dogs. You got to get the right dogs if you don't want to use all these crazy stuff. And that's where it comes down to brothers being lazy. You know, everybody say, oh, I know what kind of dogs I want. I know what kind of dogs I want. In actuality, you know these dogs aren't as good as these dogs is. So you got to add something to the program. Poison. You know, all the history stories we heard from all them old school dog brothers. How many of them old school dog stories that you heard that them brothers used poison on their dogs? From the old family red, the early Irish imports, all them dogs. How many of them brothers you heard telling stories about the other dog man using poison on their dogs? You don't hear about that till modern day time, when the gambler came into play. Because see, if you got, let's just make examples real quick, brothers and sisters. Big salute to everybody out there in the chat, everybody that's watching this video from afar. You know, hit that like button up. Now, just to say, we putting $500 on the show. $1,000. Say we putting $500 to $1,000 on the show. You know, why would we put frog piss on them? Why would we put any of that poison on them? We got 50 to 100,000 on them. You see, when you start talking about a certain amount of money, it makes any man say, this ain't about the dogs, Mo. This is about getting that money. You see? And that's where, you know, that's where the game is kind of messed up at least far as before all these laws changed, you know what I'm saying? You had to watch. You shouldn't have had to watch for somebody trying to bring in poison. You know, at the most, if a brother want to sharpen his teeth, I can say that's doing something, you know, a little above and beyond, because people do it, but you end up messing the enamel up and stuff in your dog teeth in the long run, and they end up, you know, falling out eventually. But you brothers sharpen their teeth to get the edge or whatever, you know, that's whatever. But when you go to the route of actually putting a poison on a dog, it's like that's the worst kind of unsportsmanlike conduct it is in the dog game. That's like boxing and putting poison on your gloves. You know, poison on your shoulders and all on your neck and stuff. So when the other boxer leaning on you throughout the fight, he getting all kind of stuff in his eyes. The poison ain't got to be on your gloves, right? You putting poison all on your body. So when you start sweating and all kind of stuff, and these boxers better watch out for this right here. Because they really may not be paying attention to this yet. But you better watch out for this, my boxers out there. For these brothers putting stuff on their body, here and there. And then when they know they sweating on you, and you leaning on them, it's in your eyes now. They know it may get found on the glove. If they put it on the glove, they may test the gloves. You know, I don't know how that go, but it's no different, man. If you don't got a fast lane bulldog, stay in the lane that you in. It ain't nothing that is forcing you to go out here and bet these high dollars on a dog that you know can't perform in that manner. You know, so, you know, the gambler, man, just did a lot of harm to the dog game when it came to finding out where bulldogs at. You know, because like I said, I'm going to explain it to you again. You got a brother who won't go no less than 50,000. He ain't touching his dog unless you're doing 50. His dog been schooled out a couple times. He got a one-time win for 50. He won 50. He ain't going no less than 50. He a one-time winner with a few schoolings. There's no way you can tell me that's a better bulldog than the brother who over here, his dog is a grand champion. Nah, I'm gonna take that back. His dog is a champion, and he rolled for $500 each time. He did $500. He made $1,500 off his dog in them 90s throughout that career. And he got a whole lot of rolling and schooling off of him. He got matches. Man, listen here. See, it's different. You're going to find out who the real bulldog is when you stop chasing the money and chase the dog. Let the dog make the money at the same time, you know, but the purpose of the bulldog game is to see if you got a real bulldog. If you got to add anything, that's why I say about steroids. I'm good. Steroids, I don't consider that cheating against me. You know, in them days, I didn't consider that, okay, I didn't even ask you if you was on steroids. You know, my thing is assume you is on them when we come in there, right? So, but in actuality, if we breeding for bulldogs and you got a bulldog, you shouldn't have to add that stuff into it. You know, because see, the steroid enhances everything he does. Some dogs are bred already fully enhanced. And you can take them up different notches, you know. But if you got a bulldog, you got a bulldog, man. And truthfully, honestly, you know, I'm gonna tell you like this. When you are totally confident, in that dog, you're not even gonna think about injecting him with nothing. You know, when you start off winning as a bulldog, you don't need none of that stuff. Why need to inject this? And he been doing good his whole career. And a dog that's on steroids his whole career is not going to have a good second part of his career. He's not going to be a good stud and all that type of stuff when he's been drenched down in steroids for the last 5 years. It's going to be some type of effect to the dog or his offspring or something. So that's why I say, man, at the end of the day, we breeding for bulldogs. I'm not trying to breed because we can add steroids to any line of dog and make him better. So since we talking about, you know, steroid real quick, let me ask my brothers this right here, right? How do you really know what you got if you've been using steroids your whole career? How can you, you know, how do you know you got a bulldog? You see, it's all part of gambling, man. All part of gambling. You know, and like I said, steroids, when brothers use them right, they work good for brothers' dogs. But everybody don't use them. You know, and they ain't for everybody dogs. They aren't for everybody program. You know, just know what you're doing. Like I said, in your heart, it's like you saying you got 19s. You know you got 19s, but you're saying you got 20s. You know, in your heart, you know you've been shooting the dog up. So you know you won, but if you don't got a big purse on it, that don't matter. You know, so if you got to shoot your dog with steroids, and we was out there, just say me and you knew each other, and we both felt like we had the best dogs, period. You know, you got the best dog in North Carolina, I got the best dog in South Carolina. You know, we not the richest of people, but we gonna do this. You know, we just gonna do it. Are you gonna still use steroids if there's no money involved? Now, if you use steroids with no money involved, what does that tell you? Your dog is not on the level that he's supposed to be, but you got to use a fluid to inject him to take him up to that level. If we doing the show for free and you using steroids, for what? To give you the edge, you're supposed to be breeding the edge. That's the whole point. Breed the edge. You know, like I say about them bootleg yellow dogs. You know, you can't put that steroid in them to make them perform like them old school yellow dogs. You got to breed it in them. Once you start breeding bulldogs, and you're not breeding half-ass bulldogs that you got to do some things to, and believe me, I know big kennels that use certain things, you know, and everybody will have their excuse of why they use this or why they use that. But if you got a bulldog, you don't got to use nothing besides vitamins and the things to keep him up to par on a day-to-day basis. And at the end of the day, a natural bulldog is going to be the dog that in 2 hours, if it had to go that long, he the dog that still got his tailpipes dripping water. You know, they start getting scared when brothers start shooting them dogs up with steroids and stuff. They get scared when they go into deep waters. They don't really want to go into deep water with them dogs. You know, you can bet your bottom dollar. Them dogs like Homer and Jeep. You know, unless I hear it from Mr. Crenshaw himself, Mr. Mountain Man himself, there's no way I'm going to say them dogs were injected going 4 or 5 hours. You got to be natural, man. But hey, like I said, I'm not perfect. I could be wrong, you know. But I know one thing: the bulldogs are bred. They're not bred with steroid in their body. You put that in their body, you know. You want bulldogs, you breed that. You know, maybe we should start selling puppies with a little tube of steroid with it. You know, these puppies gonna be game. These puppies gonna be the treadmill racing. They can climb. They can do anything. They are protection dogs. But you got to add this steroid in them when they get grown in order for them to be the dog that you want them to be. You know, they good dogs, but when I say the dog, like I said, it come with a little 2 vials of steroid because that's going to make him a complete dog. Hey, that's what the game coming to, right? But it is what it is, man. You know, and another thing I want to speak on, you know, color blindness. Dogs aren't colorblind, but they see it in different shades than we do, right? Now, tricks that brothers used to do back in the days, if you got a black dog, then you dress down in all black. It confuses the dog. If you got a black dog, right? It confuses the dog he going against. Because if you hold that dog perfectly still between your legs back in the days, if you held him perfectly still between your legs, he will become invisible to the dog in front of him, or somewhat invisible to the dog in front of him. Pit bulls don't bite people. So that would cause your dog to kind of stutter, think a little bit. He may even stop in the corner because your dog is perfectly still. Your black dog is perfectly still sitting between your black pants you got on with your black shirt or your black overalls or whatever. But clothes-wise, the dog won't go up to the human because he don't got no animal with the human. Now, brothers with buckskin dogs will use your cream color jumpsuits and your khaki color pants and stuff like that. Your beige color pants. So it don't really matter what color dog you got. I don't know how you'll match I guess a red nose, like an old family red color dog. You get your reddish brown Carhartt suits and stuff, and try to match it up. You trying to basically get the dog and your outfit the same color. Those are all tricks brothers used back in the days to make your dog stop. And you might not even know why your dog stopped for. He ain't did nothing to cheat your dog. He just got his dog camouflaged between his legs. And your dog just won't pursue no human. Now being that we talking about clothes, let's just go to this subject. Brother, and we talked about rub earlier, brothers using rub on themselves instead of the dogs. We watch the dogs, what about the dog man? He not putting the rub on the dog. He putting the rub between his pants legs, all the way down his pants, from his feet to his, groin. Rub it all in his pants. So now when he get his dog, and his dog get all between his legs and different things, after the wash off, before the match start, you done wash your dog off and you thinking he clean. But now the brother with the infected clothes, he get the dog. He got it on his shirt. He got it everywhere. And then he picked the dog up from out of the wash tub or whatever. And now he taking the dog. You won't notice it. He rubbing them against him. You know what I'm saying? Putting them all between his legs. A fresh rub down. See, you can't stop a cheater when they're really trying to cheat. That's why it was all about being a gentleman. That's why when they say gentleman sport, it don't necessarily mean everybody agreed with every situation that went on. It means brothers didn't cheat each other, man. Whatever they came with, they came with. If they came with a rock wallet, they came with a rock wallet. That's why back in the days, we was talking about, a lot of these brothers, these 30 and 40 shows, a lot of them didn't go all into Pitbulls. Because it was a gentleman's sport. Whatever he came with, bring him, fam. Bring him, let's get it on. I got the baddest dog in the town. And that's just how it was back then. And like I always say, big shout out to all the people that's doing the right things with these dogs. There's so many more things you could be getting yourself into. So big salute to y'all, man. But yeah, I don't know, man. It should never have gotten to that point where you had to watch for that much cheating in the game. It's just, and it all boils down to, man, the price of the gambler, what the gambler brought in. And even some of them big kennels back in the days, they was doing the big gambling. So we're not going to put it all on the D-boys. It's the gamblers, man. You got these high dollar dogs. When I say high dollar, I mean good quality dogs. You know what I'm saying? But then, you want to put 100,000 on them. So when you got 100,000 on them, what do you expect? And we talking about, average people. And then when you got a brother, like I said, when you got a clean dog, you done washed them off. Nobody ever messes with the people with the dogs. If it was, they was trying to be all the way security, all the way down on the box, then you would give each person who get in the square with them dogs back in the days, you would have gave them a fresh pair of clothes to put on, a fresh pair of overalls to put on before you get in with this dog, because we don't trust none of the clothes you came in here with. Too much emphasis was put on the dogs, and brothers knew the dogs had to get back in the care in the hands of the handler. So the whole time when brothers watching these dogs, you watching the wrong thing. Anybody with common sense eventually will catch on. You know, eventually. They gonna watch the dog, but they ain't messing with my clothes. You know, put it all on your, especially if you got long sleeves on. Put it at the bottom of your long sleeves, like at your wrist area, like cologne and stuff. So when you go to pick your dog up, eventually it's gonna rub against the dog. Whether you're making handles, missing handles, or whatever, it's gonna rub all on the dog. So it's just ways, man, how the brothers was running them tricks back in the days, you know what I'm saying? Giving my brothers and sisters a little bit of this dog talk. Like I said, we had 7 dogs passed away in Georgetown County, South Carolina. Each of the 7 dogs had gunshot wounds to the head. You know, it sounds like a mass homicide to me. You know, it don't sound like a brother just going out there getting rid of his dog. Sound like something went down. And I don't mean homicide of a human. I mean somebody was angry at another individual. But like I said, I ain't the one to gossip. I just give the news, and all the news said was 7 dogs, each with 1 single shot in the head. They didn't say nothing about their malnutrition. Say all of them was still on the chain. And the woman said that the woman, I ain't sure if she said it on that news article, but I heard a news article where she said the dogs were looking good before she left out earlier that morning. One of the neighbors said that, or witness rather, said the dog was looking good before they left out, or do whatever they had to do that morning. When they came back, all the dogs dead. You know what I'm saying? So hey, just give it to my brothers how I give it to my brothers, man. A little bit of dog talk. Y'all hit that like button. Y'all stay safe. Y'all stay legal out there. Remember where y'all got it from first. PBK9s. Go ahead and hit that membership button. Become a member of the channel. That way you be in the loop on them videos when they drop. You know, even if they drop on the regular channel, they'll be on the members only channel first. You know what I'm saying? So y'all go ahead and become a member of the channel, PBK9s, and we out.